Hello, my name is Stacey Thompson and I am the founder of the Performance Club, and you are listening to episode 9 of the Performance Club series. Today we're talking about what more employers can do to support people who are distressed, but also stripping it back somewhat and talking more about human skills and being more human in your organisation, and also empowering your workforce to be responsible and also be accepted within the workspace. So I hope you enjoy and tune in next week.
Stacey, there seems to be a real rise in the number of people who are mentally unwell. What could organisations do better or more of to support them?
Yeah, I think this is a really important point because there is a rise of mental illness, and I think that is a lot to do with fundamentals that we've talked about already. Because as you collect different aspects of maladaptive behaviour, that can bring on anxiety, and then when you're anxious, then you ruminate and you think too much, and then then you feel that you're a failure, so then that drops back into the depression. Or if you're depressed first, you get anxious about the fact that you can no longer do stuff, right? So I think organisations and human beings within organisations really need to work on their ability to be kind. I think we have not worked on those particular skills in the last fair few years. I think we need to maybe put a hold on the technology, and maybe put a hold on making things easier from a technology point of view, and maybe we need to focus a little bit more about being more human, and being also giving people tools and skills that enable people to be less distressed by our individual kind of differences. But I think EAPs, they do have a place in the workplace. I think you can get easy access to therapists, psychologists, psychiatrists, for example. But I think having somebody on site is really helpful. I think someone who's present, who can get to know your workforce, would be the gold star of interventions. I think, having someone on site and just give you some quick advice about how to work with someone, I think we can put all of these things in place. You can have your EAP, you can have someone on site, but you also have to really empower your workforce to really feel that they can be accepted, and that they are responsible for their own mental health. And I think we're doing a little bit of that with the stories. I think stories are really helpful to showcase to people that, I've come out, I've told my story, and I've not experienced discrimination, or my employers have been really great. But on the back of that, I equally hear stories that haven't been so great. And some of those stories are actually in the same organisations where I'm hearing wonderful stories. So it is subjective. I think it is depending on the manager who are above you. And I think setting some performance-related things around how you treat people is a really important way, of showing that you're serious about this stuff. You're serious about kindness. You're serious about compassion. As much as a lot of people will feel that to be successful, you need to do certain things, and that means being sometimes difficult, I would say that actually the kinder and the nicer you are, the more your team will work for you. And that team will not leave you, and that's where you'll get retain the best talent. So you do have to look at fundamentally, how can we be kinder individuals? But if you are in a crisis, it's getting someone who's on call and is able to help you with those crises and work things out with you. So that's how I would say it.
That's all for today's episode. I hope you enjoyed it. Please do tune in next week for next week's episode, and have a wonderful week.